Remember last time it wasn't being shared?
I'm just waiting for 6.
I'm going to test this real quick. Wait, let me click on it.
Which one do you?
There we go. Oh. Let me try it again.
Is it on?
Yeah, because it did it before.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Can you get back? 6 o'clock, so I'm going to start. Good evening. I'm Susan Negrelli, MDC Director of Engineering. I'm here with Jason Waterbury and Jeff King, who will present MDC's Integrated Plan Implementation Quarterly Report for the period April 1st through June 30th of 2025. On the agenda tonight, we have an update on project progress over this quarter, a schedule of upcoming projects, the status of our small business and Hartford labor participation on the projects. Our next quarterly meeting will be December 11th, 2025. At this point, I will turn it over to Jason to begin the presentation. We will have a small, if there's any comments or questions at the end, there will be time for that.
Thank you, Susan. Just outline of our presentation, go over the background, what's required to be reported in this presentation, overview of the projects, progress to date through some performance indicators, and then going into our small minority and business labor and local labor and closing remarks. The slide on your screen, again, represents a refresher as to what the geographical footprint is for the North Hartford pilot projects. As a refresher, the work in this program includes sewer separation work, sewer rehabilitation and repair work, and lateral rehabilitation and repair work. There's some pictures on the screen here from work in early 2025, including some lining work on the picture on the right, a repair to a sewer lateral, the picture on the left in the Gully Brook area, or the middle, I mean, and then some restoration work from a repair that was done in the North Meadows area. In future slides, I'll go into more details as to the progress to date. This slide is required per our consent order. No changes from the prior presentations, as there was no requests from the Commissioner Deep as to additional items that wanted to be included in this presentation. This slide shows our current status and timeline and progress and as to through the end of Q2 of 2025. The only project on this slide that changed status from compared to the end of Q1 was the phase 1 of the Windsor Street sewer separation, which is now in construction. That work will continue. I have another slide going on more details as to the Windsor Street work and the 18-inch brick work. Again, no other changes on this slide compared to Q1. Update on Windsor Street and 18-inch brick work. But as I mentioned in our June meeting, both projects have been split up into multiple phases or parts. This is due to the complexity of utilities and whatnot in the area. The Windsor Street sewer separation work began this in Q2 with rehabilitation on existing sewers and laterals on Windsor Street and Main Street. And then phase 2 of that program will be the water main and utility relocation work, which we expect to start in Q1 of 2026. And then the drain work a year later in Q1 of 2026. I should have said Q1 of 2027. I'm not sure why it says Q4 there. And then the rehabilitation work for the 18-inch brick program, that's also into 3 different parts, with part 1 expected to finish in Q3 of 2025. Part 2 will be going into construction by the end of this year and finish in Q2 of 2026. And then part 3 going into construction in early 2027 and finishing by the end of 2027. Again, some of those dates are beyond the current consent order milestones. We've begun or continued conversations with DEEP as to extensions that will be required. And as those conversations get memorialized, we'll provide additional updates going forward. Shown on this slide, on the left are 2 pictures from the large storm drain in Westland Street that we're putting in as part of the Westland Garden Street project. As you can see, it's not a small pipe that we're putting in there. It's a lot of utility supports and very complicated construction. And then on the right-hand side, you've got some project updates that were sent out for the Tower Avenue area and the Woodstock Branford area when those projects were completed. Again, those projects were completed ahead of schedule. This slide's a repeat. It does show before and after pictures for a house for sewer separation in the Woodstock Branford area. We've kept this on here because it does show a good illustration of what is expected before and after this work is done. The picture on the top on the left shows the existing conditions with the roof leader coming down the side of the house and going into the basement. And then the picture below that shows the work after the fact with that roof leader now going in a new pipe in the ground. And then also you can see a pipe from some pump discharge going into the ground. And then the picture on the right-hand side showing a typical connection of these types of pipes going to one storm lateral leaving the house. No updates to this slide. This shows the consent order, or sorry, the CSO reductions achieved to date and the overall target. With no projects having completed in Q2, this slide remained the same. This is our consent order, our non-consent order work that we've been continuing. As expected in Q2 with the weather improving, we did work started to peak up with about 3 miles of lining work having been completed in Hartford, Rocky Hill, Weathersfield, and West Hartford as part of our on-call sewer program. The sewer easement clearing program restarted back up with that project having been bid and awarded. That work is continuing in Weathersfield. And then our easement sewer rehab project in Bloomfield, the design continued with the focus being on access design through some complicated areas and some permitting design. Again, that project's supposed to go into construction in 2026. This slide represents the kind of footprint and status of projects within North Hartford. It's an overall view. No changes, as no projects really changed status. I know that Windsor Street phase 1 did go into construction in Q2. However, we're shown the design phase representing the sewer separation, as the sewer separation will be the final construction phase on that project. Now, as I toggle through here, I'll give some updates for projects. This was the expedite sewer separation work. Again, Durham Street is done. Woodstock Branford has been completed. Westland Garden is in construction right now, and Garden Street was nearly done as of the end of Q2, and the Westland Street drain had begun in Q2. And then Windsor Street, like I said, we broke it up in multiple phases, with the sewer rehab work starting in Q2, and the water main work and the sewer separation work will follow. Tower Avenue area, again, that project has been completed. And then the next to the large sewer rehab contracts in the North Branch project area, through Q2, we were about 85% done with the main line lining, and about 43% of the laterals have been lined. In the North Meadows area, that project is progressing with about 15% of the main line lining done and about 6% of the lateral lining done. Again, these numbers are as of the end of Q2. And then the Gully Brook area, that is about 46% done with its main line lining, and about 4% of the laterals have been lined. Then you've got the drainage study, which I have another slide separately just dedicated to that. And then you've got the planned sewer separation project areas of Granby 7, 8, 9, which are still part of the drainage study at this point in time through Q2. Overall view showing all the projects in North Hartford. Now, this slide is a repeat with the purpose being to show property owners and business owners how to participate in our sewer backup prevention program, also known as our backwater valve program, or our sewer house connection program. Again, we strongly encourage property owners who are interested about this to contact our utility services department and look to see if their properties are eligible or if they can participate. Showing some examples of work done on the sewer backup prevention program. You've got basement pre-existing conditions on the left photo, and then post-construction or improvement conditions on the right-hand photo. Most notably, you've got obviously the sump pump where the previous backwater valve pit was. It's probably the biggest improvement that this property would have seen, with obviously the point where a backup probably could have occurred has now been eliminated and that property is pretty well protected from any sewer backups. Again, we encourage property owners, if they have any questions, to please reach out to us to schedule a site visit. You've got on this slide some more examples of work done as part of this program, with a sink that's been replaced and protected on the left. Another example of a sump pump where the backwater valve pit was in the middle, and then the discharge of the sump pump, which is there where there's no storm drain connections in place yet. This shows our progress to date on the sewer backup prevention program. In Q2, we reached out to 354 properties, with 99 of them having responded. We went out to those properties, and 85 of those properties had improvements recommended and or scheduled or completed. Again, the largest part of the pie continues to be the properties that didn't respond, with 2,200 properties so far of the 3,000 having not responded. This slide shows the number of properties that participated in the collective of our backup prevention and house connection programs, with 376 properties in Q2, numbers slightly lower than what we saw in Q1. Now to move into consent order work in Hartford, but not in North Hartford. As far as statuses, no major changes on the ones I've shown on the screen right now, with 18-inch brick Part 1 still in construction. We expect that to be done by the end of the year. And then Part 2, like I said, will go into construction hopefully by the end of this year. And then Part 3 will follow by about a year after that. Again, the two projects at the top have already been completed. Then you've got the tunnel contract that is still in construction and will be in construction until some point about a year from now, mid to late 2026. And then you've got the I-4 and 30 project, which has also been completed. Again, an overview of these projects of status and locations. Now moving into projects outside of Hartford. Notice that no statuses have been updated on this, as Bloomfield is obviously already completed, and the Bloomfield North Branch Park River area has been completed, and the Bloomfield Styrene is still a couple years out from its deadline. The West Hartford SCS project continues in construction through Q2. Nearly 100% of the lateral TV work has been completed, and about 10% of the mainline lining work has been done. They've also completed all of the repairs that were needed on mainline sewers or laterals in the areas that the town was looking to pave in 2025, as we wanted to stay ahead of that. Moving into the North Branch Park River drainage study. In Q2, the consultant working for the city and MDC, CDM Smith, received additional comments from the city as to the river portion of the recommendation memo. They're in the process through Q2 and Q3 of updating the memo based on those comments. The district continued its review of the sewer separation preliminary design aspect. We've also began conversations with the city, mainly focusing on what improvements to the river corridor they plan on making and when, as that has a direct connection as to when and where the separation work can proceed in the Granby area. And more updates will be coming on that topic. The Hartford drainage study, again, just started up in Q2. There's 75 meters that we were installing throughout the drainage system in Hartford and in advance of our next long-term control plan update as part of separation design. In Q2, all of the initial site work and inspection work began, and the meters actually went in early July. And more updates coming on this program too as we move forward. Now to key performance indicators, which we are required to present per our consent order. You've got the year-to-date in the middle, you've got Q2 work on the left, and you've got program to date on the right. Again, we've got, as work ramped up in Q2 with the weather kind of improving, we did 9 miles of sewer lining in Q2 and done about 12 miles to date. Q2 saw some significant increases in storm drains installed, sewer main rehab, and laterals inspected and renewed. Of note, we've done over 1,000 laterals lined so far year to date in the district. Now, breaking those numbers out into North Hartford, Q2 numbers compared to Q1 were pretty much status quo. as far as the volume of work we did. Again, year to date, we've done about 5 miles of lining in North Hartford, and we've had 637 properties with laterals lined and 130 properties where we've completed backup prevention work in it. Now for the CSO reductions, this slide shows N2 and N4, and next slide shows the North Meadows and Gully area. In similar fashion to the table with the green highlights on it, no updates to either slide, as there was no projects completed in Q2 of 2025. I'll briefly pause here for the Gully and North Meadows CSOs, and I'm going to hand it over to Jeff.
Thank you, Jason. Good evening, everyone. So before we get into the workforce development and contractor numbers, we just want to start where it all begins before construction starts. That's outreach. We continue to do direct outreach through our Barber Street office. You can see that we're fully staffed Monday through Friday at the hours listed above. And whether it's one-to-one contact, mailings, door-to-door, our goal is to keep the community informed, going to different NRZs and making sure that residents know, what's happening in their neighborhood as well as what's happening on their private property before any work begins. You can visit our website to get project updates. In addition to visiting us at the outreach office, if you have any questions around career development or contractors who are looking to expand their business with our team. In addition to that, if you go to the office and you happen to be in the field, everyone's contact information is on the window. Thank you, Jason. Oh, back one slide. Thanks. So in Q2, we continued our mission with helping our minority contractors. You can see each month we had a clinic, whether it was just to go over their recertification, but also those clinics were geared to specialties so we could help these contractors grow, whether it was cybersecurity, procurement, or, sorry about that. Or their bid readiness, sorry about that. So in addition to those clinics, we geared up more with our growth strategy, teaming up with our HEDCO partnership. That was for capacity building. We had a lunch and learn on May 29th, and we had about 10 contractors between WBEs and MBEs where we're helping them grow in various areas, whether it's their HR department, financing, marketing, estimating, or any other various areas. In Q2, we reinforced the standards as far as having our contractors work under MDC's guidelines. So no matter what contractor is working at what property, each homeowner is getting the same design standards that the MDC wants. We want contractors to be in a good position to do the work, but we also need them to help with compliance. So we kind of ratcheted up our assistants to make sure that they could submit those monthly reports and data we need so we can hit our ambitious goal targets. Next slide. So in Q2, we worked with our partners to continue to keep the community engagement high, and in addition to expanding our talent pipeline. As you can see there, we go to a lot of different NRZ meetings, notably Marge, WICA, and NERA. We also completed our program at Weaver High School with working with those students and getting them their OSHA 10s and continued mentorship. And we also made our selections and did all the planning around our Tri-Trade event that happened during the week of April vacation, where we took on those 12 students, and I'll get into the details and the success on the next slide. We also continued working with other schools and our various partners of industry by attending all of those events. Overall goal is to help prime contractors team up with subcontractors, help businesses get into the MDC to do work, in addition to finding local talent so we can help our contractors grow and fill any voids they might have. Next slide. So in Q2, we had our tri-trade event, which was a success. We had about 12 students, and we went through the various departments at the MDC that you can see there, those 6. We helped one of our main contractors, Top Notch Flaggers, expand and do more work with some of our primes. We also had 2 students from the 2024 cohort work at the water treatment plant towards their Class 1 certification, and we brought in 1 part-time student into full-time working at our wastewater treatment plant, and we're helping that individual study to get their Class 1 certification as well to be a wastewater treatment operator. We did a lot of planning for the 2025 cohort, so when those students come back in Q3 over the summer in our work-based learning program, we could put the students who do the best at their strengths in those various departments at the MDC. Overall, we're looking to have a system so when we take in a cohort of each year, we know where to place them, but also we want to work with our education partners so we can find those proper students and the contractors who are looking for talent so we can put students in the right area. Next slide. So as far as the metrics, where are we? We're continuing to hit our 30% goal with Hartford. There's not really much change from Q1. This quarter was more about growth for our minority contractors, getting them in a position where they can build their capacity, take on more work, handle the paperwork that comes with that, so they can end up doing more work for the MDC as these projects gear up. So next slide. So as far as results, we've definitely did a lot more teaming up with local colleges, talking to our CTEC schools. And one of the things that we want to really promote is the MDC Tri-Trade promotional video. You can check our YouTube page for that. In addition to, getting those 10 contractors on board where we did the various training, and we'll report back next quarter on the success we've had with them. Next slide. So where are we with our Hartford labor status? This quarter, we were at 26%. It was low volume, so it didn't really take down our overall goal. We still remain above our 30% goal, and we'll continue to do that. I know in Q1, we had dipped down on our MBE, but you can see different phases of the project have different contractors doing work. So we've shot back up above our MBE goal, and our WBE goal is fluctuating above and below our goal, but we'll monitor that and keep that in line as well. So Jason, I'll let you close. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Just some closing remarks. Obviously, we're going to continue with these updates as the program continues. You've got a link on the screen right now that shows how to get more information on our website to all the work going on in North Hartford, as well as visiting your local NRZ, who we do constantly keep in contact with. Again, a reminder of when these meetings will occur. And with this, I open up to any comments or questions. You unchair. Sorry. If there's no comments or questions, then
Let's see. I don't know that we can see.
yeah.
No one's got their hand up.
All right.
We're
So
good.
hearing no comments or questions, we're going to close out the meeting.
Thank you.